being here. Hey guys, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you're checking in from, take a moment to go ahead and drop into the chat what you are, where you're checking in from, what time it is where you are. People, we've watched this happen over, I want to say we can go back to maybe 1984. So even if we say 1985, since 1985, we're looking at 40 years of behaviors from which to draw from which to identify and to be able to clearly trace the path of Donald Trump. And if you haven't taken a moment to clarify for yourself, to identify within your own self and within your own framework what you're seeing and what it means, you're in the right place today. Because today we're going to clear it up. Today I'm going to make it perfectly clear. We're going to talk about and we're going to identify and see what the Trump tariffs should do to you. If you have not been awake yet, now is the time to wake up, people. Now is the time to wake up. Please take an opportunity. Go ahead and drop your name in the chat. I can't wait to meet everyone. Go ahead, drop a comment. Let me know where you're checking in from. Take a moment to finish the poll, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to give an opportunity for people to get in here so that they have an opportunity to be heard, to hear it from the beginning, to hear what we're going to be talking about and how it's going to impact your life. Because we're not just talking about what we think may happen. It's in place now. And I'm telling you, not only is it in place now, but it's been in place for the last 40 years. Brim Life, what's up? Where are you at? What's up? Where to invest my money today? Brim Life, hang around. You can invest your money pretty much anywhere you want to. If you're looking at the market today and you're trying to find out what stocks that you need to invest in today, I'm telling you, you're going on the wrong path. It's not about chasing that money today. I'll put it to you like this. If you're here asking about where to put your money today, that means you should have put your money in a week ago. You should have put your money in 2 years ago. You should have put your money in yesterday, because it's not a day-to-day thing. That's not how the game works. Stop chasing the day. This is what I'm trying to share to you today about Trump. The belief, this idea, this ideal, this question, this vision that we have that we can do something today that is going to impact our lives in such a way today. This quick come up, we're in the wrong place. It's the wrong mindset. This is what the Trump tariffs are about. And we're going to learn about it today. It's always about chase the money. There's nothing else, bro. Money is a part of it. Hustle and drive. Thank you for being here. Lloyd, thank you for checking in, Lloyd. We're going to have a really deep conversation about this, Lloyd. I'd love for you to take a moment, stick around so we can get into what exactly is happening with the Trump tariffs and what are the traits of Donald Trump that you're not seeing, that a lot of people are not seeing. They're traits that I myself, up until maybe a few days ago, I didn't see. And the thing about it is, it starts with mindset and then it moves over and it becomes visionary, right? And there are so many ways. I'm telling you, once I came to understand what I was looking at, and I came to be able to look at it with clear, unblinded eyes, I'm telling you, it opened me up to so many things. Guys, if you're here today, again, thank you. Please drop in where you're checking from, where you're at today, what time it is, whether you're on your lunch break, you're just starting your day, no matter what it is, guys, let me know where you are so we can get started. Magnus, you say money won't make you happy. I have plenty, family, friends, and memories. Magnus, thank you for stopping in. That's a very powerful statement. And it's important to understand that life and happiness is driven by your mindset, right? You don't know whether or not you're happy if you don't know what happy looks like to you, right? Magnus, that's why so many people believe that money's going to make them happy, because they're under the impression or the belief that, hey, if I get more money, I'm going to be more happy, right? And this is what I'm trying to tell you. If money doesn't make you happy, why does losing money to tariffs make you sad? Why does that make you unhappy, Magnus? So if money isn't the thing to make you happy, why do tariffs and the threat of tariffs and the imposition of tariffs and the cost of living going up? If money does not make you happy, why does the change in the cost of living so significantly impact your happiness? Why are so many people angered by it? Why do so many people lament it? Why do so many people cry about it? Why are so many people marching in the streets and carrying banners if money is not the thing that makes you happy? If your family, your friends, and your memories make you happy, why are we creating memories out of sadness, anger, and frustration over tariffs, over things that we literally do not have control over? I want to take a moment, guys. Please check in. Let me know where you're checking in from. Hey, Philly Salazar. Thank you for being here, Philly. Welcome in, guys. Please drop in where you're checking from. Go ahead, drop us a thumbs up, and we're going to get into this in just a moment, guys. This is so important. I spent so much time learning this, looking into this, and watching it. I'm telling you, I went back years to see exactly what's happening. I have some notes here on what I'm going to share with you, and I'm letting you know. Aloha from Hawaii, Quad. Welcome in, Quad. I have notes that I want to share with you about the specific things that the Trump tariffs should have woke up in you. And if they haven't woken you up, and if you haven't come alive to be able to see what these Trump tariffs have woken up in you, we're going to go over some specific traits of Donald Trump, some specific things that you see in Donald Trump that you should implement into your life. And as I said in the comments, this isn't about politics, people. It's about principles. We can complain and lament. We can have issue after issue, and we can say that there are so many things that we don't like. But ultimately, we have to take ownership on our own, people. We have to be able to look at ourselves and say, okay, what is it about me? What is it that I'm doing? And that's what we're going to do today. We're definitely going to grow. We're definitely going to learn. And you're going to learn to see Donald Trump, quite possibly, depending on which side you fall on, you're going to learn to see Donald Trump in a new light. And it doesn't matter what side you fall on. It doesn't matter whether you voted for him in the last election or not. You're going to understand, and you're going to start to see that the principles behind this thing are what we should be taking away. Use as many capital letters as you want. 100 disabled veteran. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your service. It's a pleasure. Magnus, you say Trump tariffs have created volatility in the market, which creates great opportunities. Magnus, this is what we're talking about. We're still talking about money, though. And you were the one who just said, Magnus, I'm going to push back on you a little bit. I'm happy to have you here, and I appreciate you sharing and being involved. But you're the one who just said money doesn't make us happy, right? So even though there's volatility and there's great opportunity in the market to be able to put money in and get money out, keep in mind, money does not make you happy, right? So why is there so much focus? Why are there so many pages and so much focus on money, right? Why are we spending so much time finding pages and asking where to invest our money and what to do and how to move it around? And that's because there are some specific things that have happened. Like I said earlier, it has been 40 years. There have been 40 years of Donald Trump that has gotten us to this point, and some of us are just waking up. Some of us weren't even alive when the journey began. But I'm telling you, what Trump tariffs should have waken up in your mind, we're going to share. We're going to go over it today, and we're going to learn. All right, and big Blackbird. Thanks for checking in, Blackbird. How are you doing today? Thank you for being here. Please go ahead and drop where you're checking in from. If you haven't had a chance to like, go ahead and like, guys, because what we're going to do is we're going to cover what it is about Donald Trump. I'm going to give it a moment, guys. Please check in. Drop in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time it is, where you are, what parts of the country, what parts of the world, what parts of the planet are we checking in from for this exciting, exciting moment that we're having here today, people. It is going to be truly great. Magnus, I like making money. However, my point is, it won't make you happy. Indeed, right? But we have way more conversations about making money. 4:43, is that in the morning? Quad, good morning. Spinosaurus, hello. So it's great. I understand what you're saying, and I get the point of, hey, I like making money. All of that makes sense to me as well. But what I'm asking you here, Magnus, and what I'm challenging here, Magnus, is if that is not happiness, and if it's just a thing, why are so many of our conversations centered around it? Why are so many of our shows, actions, behaviors, thoughts centered around it? Because it's not happiness. And for most people, money brings the greatest degree of aggravation as well. I understand the purpose of currency and money. It makes sense. I get it. I myself make money. I myself look to maximize the potential of my own earnings, to maximize my family's future for generations to come. But this is about principle. This is not about politics. This is not even about money. It's about you, the person that we need to be, and how what Donald Trump has done for years is something we need to be learning today. I'm going to get started here, guys. We have Brand, another confused uncle. Brand, you got to hang around. And this is the thing, Brand. This is the thing about the brainwashing is this is about principles, not politics. And so the confusion and the belief that who I put in front of you is the person who I actually am, or is the person who you should be following, or is the person who is going to be able to save you. Stop looking at the person. And we do this a lot. And I talk about this constantly. Hey, how are you doing, Mappa? Here's the problem is we think that what we're seeing is what is actually happening, right? We think what we're being shown is what we're supposed to be seeing, when it's the exact opposite. Ryan, welcome in, my brother. I'm letting you know, if you hang around, I promise you're going to find out what I'm sharing with you today and how we can look back over 40 years and you can get started today setting your own mindset, setting your own self in place. Hi again, Mappa. How are you doing? Welcome in. It is, what is that? Kathanal 2? All right, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Please drop a thumbs up. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started with what we're going to say. This first thing that I want to share with you is what we're going to do is we're going to cover five Donald Trump traits that are tied directly to the discipline dividend that can pay into your life exponentially, that can continue to help you grow for years to come. Okay? I'm talking about things that you can start putting in place in your life right now that will have a return for years, that will have a return into the lives of your children and grandchildren. Okay? And so here's the first thing that I want to share with you guys. This is about mindset. It's about mindset, right? Here's what it is. Unshakable brand discipline, right? I wanted to make sure I got those words all together right. Welcome in, Ryan. All right, man, 4:47 in the morning. The first time you see me is in the evening, and now early morning, you're back on again with me. Thanks for being here, Ryan. And so what does that mean? Unshakable brand discipline, right? So the discipline dividend, we have 5 focus areas, right? Your focus areas are going to be your mentality, which is how you think about things, how you process information in your mind. Then you're going to have knowledge, which are the things that you learn, which are the things you learn, right? And then how, you use the things that you learn to put you into a place or put you into a position of prosperity, right? So there is the mentality of it is, hey, what do I think? Right? That's what happens when they were like, hey, look at this guy, right? How do you think about this guy? What do you think of Donald Trump? What do you think about this red tie and this blue suit? What do you think about the fact that he's white? What do you think about the comb over or not the comb over or the toupee or not the toupee? That is all about how you think. And then there's the knowledge aspect of it, of how much of an understanding do I have about rhetoric? How much of an understanding do I have about how to control people? How much of an understanding do I have about emotion? How much of an understanding do I have about these things to be able to see what are they showing me and what should I actually be seeing, right? What should I actually be understanding? And that is trait number one. Donald Trump, if we go back 40 years, people, unshakable brand discipline is the first thing that he puts in front of you. Mindset is important. I grew up in a family that created business. Due to this, I was brought to a certain way. I would never work 9 to 5. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a good example of mindset. It is a good example of mindset. Hey, bro, how you doing? Thoughts? Welcome in. That's an excellent example of mindset, which is what I'm trying to share with you here is that's why when people hear the name Donald Trump, it is designed to be polarizing intentionally, but no one has no response to the name, right? I want to show you how impactful the name Donald Trump is. I can say Michael Jordan. He's a good basketball player. Maybe you didn't like him. Maybe he wasn't in the generation you grew up in. Maybe he was a decent player. Maybe you thought Scottie Pippen was better. We can have a conversation about it, right? I can go a step further, right? Let's stay in the political arena. All right? Let's go with a politician that everyone's heard of. John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy. We stand up, we salute. Right? Stories, the history of John F. Kennedy. You know what? Hey, he had his issues. He had the things that he went through. I get it. Right? Right. Michael Jordan. It's more than just a name. It's a brand. But here's the thing that I want you to keep in mind with all of those things, right? Everything that you're looking at, I say Donald Trump and you pick a side. Everyone. And this is what I mean about an unshakable brand. This is what I mean about over the last 40 years, he's chosen a path. And when people were like, you're wrong, he was like, okay, whatever, Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. I'm the brand. More than the word president, right? Like across this country in the United States, we will all say president of the United States. We all use the same word, president of the United States, to speak of the person who's in office, right? But Donald J. Trump, you don't have to put president in front of his name to get the same polarizing effect, to get the same responses from people where they not only respond to it mentally, but they respond to it emotionally. They respond to it with fervor. He has a unshakable brand, and he's been setting it up for the last 40 years. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about us developing an understanding within ourselves that we need to choose to be someone. And no matter what our friends say, no matter what our families say, no matter what your coworkers say, no matter what your cousins say, no matter what the people down on the dock say, no matter what the people on the stock say, no matter what I say here on YouTube, no matter what all the other people who are trying to tell you, hey, here's how you get rich, here's how you make $6,000 a week. It doesn't matter what any of them say until we get our mindset right and we understand that we are our own brand. that we are our mindset has to understand that we have a life and we have a purpose, and it needs to be unshakable. If you're going to stand in your faith and you're going to say that Christ is who is your guide and you will not be shaken from that, then don't be shaken from it. Take a stand on it, live in it, and build your brand. Do not let people sway you one way or the other because someone says we don't agree with how you said what you said. Okay. This is the first thing. The Trump tariffs should have shown you at this point. It does not matter what other people say about what he does. He has a brand, he has a belief, and he has a way of going about doing it. And here's the thing you have to see. I don't care how many hands go up. I don't care how many people on either side of the aisle agree or disagree. There you go. Ryan is quoting Jay-Z. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Do you understand? So when Donald J. Trump, this first trait of the discipline dividend, which is about your mentality and your knowledge of setting up an unshakable brand, every building that he puts up, the Bible that he sold, the shoes that he sells, they all have his name on them. And all he does is win. You know why? Because he doesn't have to own them to put his name on them and get the return from it. All he has to own is his mindset. My mindset is that I am who I am. And then you go out and you live that. Dude, I apologize if it's coming across as shouting, but one of the reasons that I am this way, and one of this is because it is so exciting, because I came into this understanding, into this revelation into my life over the past week, and I'm so excited about being able to share this with the people, with everyone, that regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump, there is a complete dividend from discipline viewpoint that can help you to grow, right? That can help you to continue to become stronger and better. And I'm telling you, the first one is the unshakable brand, right? And so what it is understanding that this mental discipline, owning your identity and building the brand of yourself, even within yourself, it will represent your values and your ambitions. That will be a representation of you to the world. And it's important to have. You have Kanye West vibes, really great way. I think that's an appreciation. Thank you. 600 plant life. All right. And then Shimshan. It's so much passion. It really is, bro. It really is. And so one of the things that I want to continue to share, and if you haven't had an opportunity to, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for stopping in. If you haven't had a chance to drop a thumbs up, please do so. Also, go ahead, check in, let me know where you are. I believe 600 Plants might be in Colorado. If not, I'm not sure. But go ahead, drop into the chat where you're checking in from, what time it is, where you are. Magnus says, Trump is incredible with how he handles stress. Unfortunately, not everyone would be able to be Trump. The guy is iron-willed and ultra-competitive. Right, so we're looking at principles, not the person, right? Because even if you feel like you're right, I heard a lawyer say once, never get so closely associated with your position so that when your position goes, you go with it. And what this means is you need to have a firm stance and a belief in who you are and a mindset of who you are, and you need to live that. So that even if you have a position on something and people disprove it or say it's wrong or just challenge it, it doesn't matter. You will still stand firm in your belief and your understanding of who you are. Shimshan checking in from the UK. I like Trump. He's quadrupled my crypto portfolio. Thank you for checking in from the UK. And what we're talking about here is how does this relate directly to the discipline dividend, guys? And so now we're going to go to the second thing. And this is what I believe Magnus had just spoke on, is the second part that we want to look to is now we're going to take a look at the emotional and mental part of it, right? Relentless confidence, people. Relentless confidence. So I'm going to give you an example I have written down here. No matter what Trump has been through, right? No matter what has happened over these 40 years, from lawsuit after lawsuit, from being castigated in the media, from being positioned, being on television, off television. It doesn't matter what he's done, right? It doesn't matter. Trump still comes back. From going bankrupt, rebuilding, going bankrupt again, whatever has happened. This is not about the person. This is about the discipline, the emotional discipline to understand how many of us can lose $1,000. Forget that. How many of us can lose a year's pay, a whole year's pay, and maintain the confidence, maintain the mindset, maintain the emotional stability and the strength to stand up and say, it's going to be all right. Don't worry about it. Things happen. Right? It's not about whether or not it's not about whether or not things are going to happen, because they are. It's without a doubt they are. It's about what happens to you when they happen. How do you maintain your mental fortitude? What happens when you have an expectation of the stock market going in one way and it goes in another? How do you handle it? How do you come out? So again, it's not about what stock to invest in. It's definitely not about what crypto fund to invest in. It's not about any of that. It is completely about, are you the person who can handle whatever happens in whatever way you invest in it, right? You have got to start to understand separating yourself from the distractions of what people show you and focus in on the principles of what are getting people where they are, what are helping people move to places that you want to be. And I'm telling you, the discipline dividend is the key to investing in yourself. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job and watch the returns. They will become flooding in. Confidence is key, especially when borrowing big money. And that's the thing. Here's the thing. If you want to take a moment to talk about money, let me tell you the simplest principle about money. Live off of other people's money, not your own. But guess what it takes in order to be able to do that? Discipline. Bottom line. Guess what? You can borrow money to do anything. You know what you can borrow money to do? You can borrow money to make more money. You can borrow money to purchase stocks with money that you don't have, and then sell those stocks, pay that money back, and now you have the money that money made. People, when I'm telling you that the opportunities are out there, you have to get the mindset, the emotional stability, and the confidence within yourself to take the steps to do the things. You don't need to go watch, and I'm telling you, they got some great brothers out there, great brothers, great sisters, great mentors, great leaders out there on YouTube teaching you what to do and how to do the things you need to do in order to be able to grow your riches, to grow your finances, and take advantage of your future. But let me tell you this, if you can't wake up when you're supposed to, if you are bedridden because you don't feel like getting up, if you don't go work out because, it was cold outside today. If you don't take a stand and you don't take a stance in your principles and your belief, and you don't hold yourself accountable, if you're not aware of where your blind spots are and you're not seeking feedback so you can grow, don't go to those channels. You know why? Because it doesn't matter the advice that they give you. You have not developed yourself into the person you need to be to survive what you're going to encounter when you get there. Because it requires discipline. It requires an understanding that your mindset has to be set, and you must be unshakable in your mindset. and in your belief. You must be emotionally stable to understand you will not be swayed too far one way or the other. Don't let a $15,000 windfall sway you so far to one side that you stop focusing on the importance of the investment. Don't let a $15,000 loss sway you so hard that you feel like you want to give up. And this is the difference between working within a framework that someone else is sharing with you and working within an understanding of who you are. And I'm telling you, when you look at the traits and the discipline and the actions and the course and the consistency on the path of Donald Trump over the last 40 years, if you don't like the man, you need to learn the lesson that he has built an unshakable brand, and that brand is himself, and he doesn't care what you think about it. He doesn't care what you think about his gold sneakers. He doesn't care what you think about the Donald Trump hotels that got closed or the ones that are still open. He does not care. He's built a brand. And the important thing about his brand is his brand has gotten to a point of whether you love him or you hate him, you know him. There's nobody out there who says, well, I don't know who that is. And if you don't know and you're watching this, you know who he is now. This is really, really important. These are the first two traits we've covered so far that are a part of this discipline dividend. Unshakable brand discipline and the relentless confidence. The emotional fortitude to be able to go through, to endure, to persevere and come back again. The belief in yourself must be non-negotiable, people, right? It's not arrogance. It's when you back up belief in yourself with action, it's not arrogance. It's just the truth, right? When you say you're going to do something and then you do that thing, once you've accomplished that thing, people can't tell you you're being arrogant anymore. They can't reference that and say, oh, you're just arrogant. It's not arrogance anymore. It's facts. It's what's actually happening, people. That's important for us to understand. Right? So how do we implement this in our own life? The first thing that we have to do is we have to understand we need a mindset of our own. We can't let the world hand us a mindset, right? Who's handing you your mindset? Is it the Democrats? Is it the Republicans, the independents? Wait a minute, I got one. NBA. Nope. NFL. No, the Premier League. Ronaldo. Messi. I'm not sure. Let me know when I hit on the person who's handing you your mindset. Maybe it's Disney. MGM, Paramount. No, none of those movie makers are handing you your mindset. Who's handing you your mindset? Who has told you that this is who you are and this is how you have to think and this is how your life has to go? Here's the biggest problem that we're going to run into, and then one of the things that is important for us to take from the dividend. Jesus. There you go, Mad Hatter. You have to find faith. If you do not have faith, you will not be able to establish a purpose. If you do not have a purpose that you're working on, your mindset will be whatever they give to you. Whatever the world tells you that your mindset is what your mindset will be. And Magnus, you're right. Parents come into play, but it's more than parents. It's you. If you look at the number of people in the world who have to make a determination, here's the biggest part. Your mindset is stronger as a child than it is as an adult, because your parents are supposed to guide you, not shape you, right? You shape you. Your parents are supposed to guide you. They're supposed to show you paths. They're supposed to help you get to the correct place, right? When we're a child, do you know why children start to walk? Children start to walk because they want something. I want something and you're not giving it to me. I don't like laying on the floor. I don't want to be down here all day long. I want to move and you're not picking me up. I'm going to stop crying about it. Screw you. I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk. Deal with it. I figured it out. Right? As soon as we as parents kind of pick them up and they're like, hey, what is this you do? You mean if I do this, I can move on my own? As children, as little babies, we have a desire to achieve and to be more than a baby laying on the floor, and we take action. Where does that leave us as adults? And if this is not about, I cannot express to you hard enough, I cannot be more adamant about sharing this with you right now. We are taught to stop seeking an understanding, because as parents, we start to tell our children, do what I say. And when they say why, we start to tell them, because I said so. And then once we teach them, do what authority tells you because authority has told you to do it, they stop questioning. And we send them out as 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. As Bruce is saying, we send them out into the world where they no longer question anything. And so we send them out in the world as sheep, and we have not helped them figure out how to design their own path, so they follow the path that's given to them. This is what I'm trying to say to you about this, about the Trump tariffs. The things that the Trump tariffs should have woken up in you is, it does not matter. This isn't about Donald Trump. This isn't about the stock market. It's not about the business. It's not about the 80,000 things they bombard me with on television. It's not about whether or not the crime rate is going up or the crime rate is going down. All of those things are outside of me. And the only impact that I have on those things is the ability to control myself, the direction I take myself, and how I grow myself. So what does that mean? If we don't fix our mindset to understand that we must be committed to driving ourselves and dedicating ourselves to our own development, understanding unshakable brand discipline, meaning you choose to be someone and you be that someone. Relentless confidence, meaning no matter what you run into, no matter how difficult it comes, do not get too high or too low so that you are swayed or broken away from who you're supposed to be. Those things are important. They are completely a part of what your development should be in order for you to grow. Now, here's the one that most of us get caught up in. What do we have here, guys? I want to check. The Gray said the best way to say it, it can be read or a book for you. It cannot hand you a can of success. I cannot be your discipline. You cannot. Nobody else can either. Only you get to write your story. Only you, exactly. More people really need this right now. America needs to hear this. Indeed, which is why I'm here to share. Please share it out. If you can share it, hit share. Share it so that the people you know have a chance to come in. If you haven't had an opportunity to hit the thumbs up, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, guys. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Thanks for checking in and being a part of the chat. Bruce, that's a great way to say it, Bruce. Great way to say it. Steve, welcome in. Thank you very much for sharing, Steve. I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to have you be a part of this because it's important for us to understand in our development and in our growth until we take hold of the reins. As long as we keep sitting back and waiting for someone else to show us what we need to do and where we need to go, it doesn't matter. Because if someone else is driving the car, we go where they want to go. That's where we end up. Mad Hatter, foundation of knowledge and discipline is the best way forward. It's an awesome way forward. It is indeed. New construction. Not toxic in any way. Thank you very much, New Construction. It's great to have you here. And so here's some of the things that I want to continue to share with you guys. This has been happening for over 40 years. And what we've run down so far are some of the things that we've seen Donald Trump do that are simply just discipline, right? What's the Uber? And Bruce said, 50 years from now, if I opened your book of days and looked at this day, what would your story say? Would it be a good read? Awesome. Very good. That's a great line, Bruce. I really like that. Hey, I might use that, buddy. Bruce, if you come back in and you hear me using that in one of the chats, do not be surprised. Hello, how are you doing? Is that Adine? Thanks for being here. Awesome, guys. Please, I always appreciate when you come in. If you're coming in, no matter where it's from, go ahead, drop in the chat. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time it is for you there. Football King, do you not like Trump or something? Football King, how long have you been here? Did you just get here? If you just got here, go back through the chat. I'm going to share with you, if you look at what we're talking about here, it is about understanding what the Trump tariffs should have woken up in you. And it doesn't matter if you like Trump or you don't like Trump. Thank you for the sub, Magnus. If you like Trump or you don't like Trump, what we're talking about right here, right now, is the ability for you to learn from the life of Trump. It's the ability for you to be able to take a look at the discipline. And I'm going to recap just for you because you're new in here. I'm going to recap. The first thing we covered is unshakable confidence, or unshakable brand discipline, right? And then we covered relentless confidence. Those are the two things we covered so far. Rock Z, thank you for being back from Australia. Thanks for being here, Rock Z. Mad Hatter, new subscriber. Thank you so much. And from Montana, welcome in from Montana. I appreciate it. And The Art of the Deal is a phenomenal book, Steve. An absolutely phenomenal read for everyone out there. Adine, the personality of Trump. We're talking about the discipline dividend. We're not talking about, and that's why I pinned the comment at the top that I pinned. This is not about politics. It's about principles. It's about actions that you can see in place. So we've seen Trump over 40 years put his names on buildings, put his name on shoes, put his name on Bibles. That's because he has a belief in his brand, and his belief in his brand, from clothes to toilet paper, is that I am the brand. And whether or not you like me or not, I'm going to put my name in front of me, and I'm going to walk in the light of whatever I believe. You don't have to agree with the man. You don't have to invest in the man. The same way people don't have to believe in you. And this is what's really important. People don't have to believe in you. People don't have to invest in you. You have to believe in you. You have to invest in you. When you believe in yourself, when you invest in yourself, and then you go out and you walk in that belief and you're resilient and you do not get swayed by what others may do and others may say, and you stay in that belief, you build your brand. You get to choose what your brand is. And it starts with a mindset that is built out of faith. If you have faith, stand on it, say it, live in it in every moment. And this is what the lessons are. This is what the discipline dividend, this is what I get up and I walk and talk about every morning from 4:30 to 5 o'clock. This is what I do daily in my life, living the discipline dividend, understanding that there are principles in which we live by that allow for us to grow and achieve great success, to build a generational legacy, for us to be able to move on. As Bruce said, when I open the book of your life 50 years from now, what am I going to see about today? Or when I look at today, tomorrow, and yesterday side by side, is it going to show that you are still following those same discipline principles, or do you get swayed one way or the other, depending on whether there's a 20% tariff on Mexico, or the price of wood is more expensive coming from Canada? Which one of these things are going to drive you? Which one of these things are going to determine how you act, how you feel today, whether or not you want to go to work? Right? The Trump tariffs should have taught you by now. If you haven't learned this far into the year, and watching him threaten tariffs, accuse tariffs, possibly put forth tariffs, implement tariffs, withdraw tariffs, extend tariffs, make tariffs larger, if you haven't found out that the world is still spinning, and if your head is spinning faster than the world is spinning, then you don't have a direction and you are being controlled by others. I keep saying, trust me, if you haven't created a purpose for your life, if you haven't decided and made a purpose for your life for you to be able to live in. What's going on, Mr. P? Good to see you back, man. We're going to talk a little bit later about your situation and see how things are going. if you have not put into place in your own life an understanding of where you want to be and who you're going to be and the direction you're going in, if you're not living your purpose, trust me, you're living someone else's, right? And people will continue. There is people have a purpose for you. If you don't have a purpose for yourself, trust me, the people who are in power, the people who have a purpose for their life and an understanding of what they want to do with their life, they have a purpose for you. And they do not have a problem with having you do that purpose. And it's not considered using, it's simply considered, I have a legacy I'm building, and in order to build my legacy, I need people to do some work. We've covered a lot here, but this is still about discipline. It's about principles. It's about being able to understand what the discipline dividend is and how to implement it in your life. It is important for us to understand that as we follow these and we implement them in our life, that they will have an impact and they will help us grow. Now, there's a major discipline that a lot of people don't talk about. Most people say that there are 4 areas of discipline. Most people say that there are 4 focus areas. They'll tell you there's your mental discipline, there's your emotional discipline, there's your physical discipline, and your spiritual discipline. But there's a knowledge discipline, people. A number of people have done it already in the chat. They've mentioned books that they've read, people who they've heard from, people who they've watched videos from. They've mentioned the knowledge that they've gotten. What do we have here? Rusty, if you say things passionately enough and don't stop talking, maybe you'll eventually start making some sense, dog. I'm hoping so, Rusty. I'm hoping so. Because if you're listening long enough, if I say it passionately enough and I can keep you here long enough to listen it and to take it into heart, to get you to accept it, to get you to start thinking about it and seeing how it works in your life, then it'll make a change. It'll have an impact. That's 100%. Sometimes you got to be on a soapbox. Sometimes you have to have a microphone. And I'm letting you know that I'm here to share. These are things that I've already put in place in my life. These are things that I'm already doing to help my life and my family and to grow my wealth and to grow my future and build my family's legacy. It's not a thought anymore. It's not something I'm trying to do. It's something I'm doing. As soon as you pick up that mantle and you start to do it, you're not trying to do it anymore. And that's a big thing. Thank you very much, Mr. P. I can whisper it. I can whisper it, Rusty. I don't know if you're still here or not, but I can whisper it. I can yell it. It doesn't matter. I can write it down on a piece of paper. I can just put it in the captions. I can just drop a transcript. I can have somebody do a voiceover. Doesn't matter in which way it comes. The key is that it's out here. It's available to you, right? And you have an opportunity to learn from it. If you don't think it works, and this is what I tell my children, if I propose something to you that you believe may possibly, if I believe it may possibly be of benefit, there is only 2 options. Either it is or it isn't, but there's only one way to figure out which one of those 2 options work, is to do it at the best of your ability. If someone tells you you do this, this will happen for you. You do that thing at the best of your ability. If that thing happens for you, then you've proven it right. The other option, it doesn't happen for you, but you still do it to the best of your abilities. And if it doesn't happen, then you know, hey, I need to change course. I need to do something different. I need to have a different course of action. That's a very simple thing to be able to do, right? And so that's the thing. So when we're going to go on, I'm going to keep moving. We're going to move on to the next thing. We've already covered, as I said before, the first 2 things that we covered was unshakable brand discipline. And then we covered relentless confidence. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cover something that has to do with knowledge, because oftentimes people don't talk about knowledge as something that needs to be a part of your discipline. And this is why so many people missed out when this was happening, and why Donald Trump was able to build the brand that he was able to build, so that people, love him or hate him, flock to his name. They come to see everything he does. If Donald Trump puts out a show, people who hate Donald Trump will still come to see the show just to see whether or not they can hate the show. Do you understand how valuable that is to him? For him to go to a network and say, hey, I have 100 million people that love me and I have 100 million people that hate me. If you make a show with my name on it, all 100 million people who love me are going to show up, and half of the 100 million people who hate me are going to show up. That is a part of his brand, and that comes from knowledge, and that is called media manipulation. That is one of the things that Donald Trump did to build his legacy. The ability to be able to go out and say, hey, I have a belief that I live by. I have something that is true to me and who I am. However, what I really want to do is build this brand. And then when we go out and we say, hey, this is who I am, I need people to see me for who I am. And I understand that there are going to be people who aren't going to like me. For example, Rusty was just in the chat. I don't block people. I've never blocked anyone from my channel. And the reason that I don't block people from my channel, because love me or hate me, if you come in and you drop something in the chat, guess what? The algorithm says that there are people who are engaging. Let me send more people. This is how we start to build the brand. This is how you do the work. So if you're out there, if you're on your job and you're like, well, how do I become more noticed at my job? How do I move up and become a bigger presence at my job? Have an idea, state it, go out, put it in front of people, take credit for it. Even if you have 5 ideas that fail and 1 idea that is a success, stand on that 1 idea. Because the 5 ideas that failed at least show that you are out to make change, that you are out to motivate, that you are out to do something, that you're not just here to be here. I'm not just here to just float along with the boat. I'm here to get us moving. I'm here to help us grow. I'm here to build. If you're not doing that in your own life, if you're not taking enough chances and you're not failing enough in your own life, you're not doing enough for yourself to grow. So that is a knowledge thing. It takes knowledge. You got to go out and learn something to try it, to be able to fail it. And that goes back to having that unshakable brand of who you are and knowing who you are and the emotional ability to be able to fail repeatedly and still raise your hand and say, here I am. Let's try this again. That's the knowledge thing. And so you may feel like, hey, I'm not in the media. I can't manipulate the media. All of you people who go to work, all of us who have jobs and go to work, and like, you don't understand my workplace. They have cliques. They have groups of people. They have people who are working with this person or that person. Okay, your voice isn't loud enough. You need to be a better media representative. It doesn't matter whether you're in a clique, out of a clique, stand alone. Be a voice. You need to make sure people know that you're there. Do they even know you work there? Do they even know you have a problem? Do they even know that you have anything that you're trying to do? Do they know you have anything to offer? If you are not willing to speak up about the change that you want to see, don't expect the change to happen. So when you have that ability to have that knowledge and we start putting these things together, then we're going to build from there. I want to check in with you guys, see what you're saying. I'm going back. I see Tamla. We have been here before the birth of Christ, mound builders, ancient Egypt and North America, Holy Land, Grand Canyon. Praise Yah. Okay. All right, Tamla. Congratulations on your faith. Keep walking strong. If you haven't had it, if you're still here, go ahead and drop a thumbs up. Mr. P. Indeed, that is the statement about Donald Trump. Love him or hate him, he's here. You have to speak up. Rock Z said when Donald Trump had the debate with Hillary about his knowledge about the tax code, he made a lot of fans when he put it back on Hillary. Right. Same tax deductions that he had. And this is the thing. That's called media manipulation. I think Dave Chappelle may have been the person to tell this joke. And I think it was maybe on Saturday Night Live or something like that, where essentially what he said was, he's standing up there on the stage with Hillary Clinton, I believe it was Barack Obama, and they were like, well, if you know the tax code is crooked and the tax code is fixed, like how do you know? And they're standing here trying to gain our trust, telling us that it's not. No, it's not. Tax code isn't crooked. No, the tax code is not crooked. He was like, of course it is. And they were like, well, how do you know it's crooked? He's like, because I use it. I use the crooks. I'm breaking it. So what does that mean? That's media manipulation. How do you trust a dishonest person? By having that dishonest person tell you that I'm being dishonest with you. Right? I'm telling you, when you talk about knowledge, when you talk about these traits and these things that you need to learn, when you have an understanding and a knowledge of how to communicate, you have a knowledge of how to engage, you have an understanding of whether people love you or hate you, doesn't change the fact of who you need to be in order to be who you're going to be. Rock Z says it goes past knowledge. You need to get to the point of applied knowledge, which is wisdom. Exactly. But you have to get the knowledge first, right? Applied knowledge is what we see when we start to live that life. When we say we're becoming this person who's deserving of these millions of dollars, we're becoming this person who's deserving to be looked at in this particular way, we have to do so by understanding that we ourselves are building our brand. We are becoming who we're supposed to be. And we're growing in that way. And then that is that applied knowledge. But here's the thing. If you're working on yourself mentally, and you're working on the way that you think, and you're working on the way that you, how you answer questions, and you're working on understanding the mentality and how to have conversations and how to overcome objections, and you're doing all of these things, but you're not gaining knowledge. You're not gaining knowledge in the areas that your purpose is in. If you're not growing it, how can you apply it? This is how we end up in jobs that we don't like. We end up working, oh, well, it pays well, but I hate going there. It's because we haven't grown our knowledge to apply it to our purpose and love the journey as we get to where we're going. Next. This is one of the strongest pillars of discipline, right? It's perseverance. Everything. You can repeat actions. You can be repetitious. You can be patient and know it's going to take time. You can have one of the greatest records of consistency that you've ever seen, right? And you can still retire from the NBA like Patrick Ewing without having ever won an NBA championship. You can still retire from the NBA like Karl Malone and John Stockton and never have won an NBA championship. And I use those people as examples because they were repetitious in developing and building their skills. They were patient in understanding that the first game of an 82-game season is not going to win us a championship. They were consistent in showing up and performing on the same level on a regular basis, breaking records and stats that were most important to their positions. They persevered. They lived through generations of great talent and great players, and they continued to show up and come back and play and play and play. And they had success, but they never achieved mastery. That is the core to discipline, and the core is perseverance. Because just because you're repetitious, and just because you have patience, and just because you're consistent, doesn't mean that you're going to ever be the champion, but you can find success along that way. And what you do is you build a legacy. You build a legacy. And so when you talk about the ownership, when we look at professional sports, and if we look to the Denver Nuggets and you look at all of the players who came before the group of players that won an NBA championship a few years ago, when you look at what they had to go through over years of development, there had to be a path where players, owners, organizations, leadership had to come in on a daily basis, knowing that we're chipping away at something and we're working towards it, and we'll achieve success. We'll make money. We'll sell tickets. We'll sell jerseys. We'll have good players. But mastery in the NBA is winning the championship. Being able to grow to that point is being able to win that championship. So what does that mean about the 4 pillars? Perseverance means that we have to be able to go through having someone like A.B. Sooner drop in and say something that is disrespectful and does not take an individual into regard. You have to understand that when you're looking in the face of people who are saying, I can't stand you. I don't like you. I don't believe in what you're saying. I don't believe you believe in what you're saying. When people challenge you and people say that you're not capable of it, you can't switch course. You can't be wavered. You can't be shaken in such a way emotionally that you don't have a way to stand up. Because the thing about being able to stand, the thing about having discipline dividend and understanding your path, your calling, and putting in the work to get to where you need to be means you have to stand up in the face of people. You have to stand up. You have to pronounce and state who you are, what your goal is, and what you're working towards. So when those who don't appreciate you, when those who don't value you, when those who don't understand you, or those who don't believe in you come to you to challenge you, you can still stand. I'm not talking about character here. I'm not talking about politics here. I'm talking about the discipline that it takes to be the person who you say you want to be the person deserving of the wealth, the prosperity, and the legacy that you want to see in your life. If you're still in here, please drop a thumbs up. Please raise your hand. Let me know if you're still here, because I don't block people. I'm not going to send you away. I'm not going to deny you access. I'm not going to shut off your voice. And the reason I'm not going to is because this isn't about me. This is about those of us out here who can hear the message. Jesus himself, what's up, man? Tell me you want me to tell you how I'm doing? I'm blessed as always. Thank you for dropping in and being a part of the stream today. If you haven't had a chance to, anyone who's out there, if you haven't had a chance to drop a thumbs up, if you haven't had a chance to like, please like. Take a look at the channel. You can head on over and subscribe as well. What we're talking about today is the things that the Trump tariffs should have woken up in you. If you haven't looked at the Trump tariffs and taken an opportunity to wake up, I'm sharing with you right now. These are some of the things that the Trump tariffs should have woken up in you. Some things that you should be able to see, 5 traits from Trump that you can look at over 40 years that has been in place in his life. And we're working through those. And number 4 is persistence, guys. Phil, how are you doing? Yes, Jesus is indeed here. You have to wake up and invest. Before you invest in the market, though, you must invest in yourself. You must invest in your belief in yourself. You must invest in your mindset. You must invest in who you are. Because if you're not investing in yourself, if you're not investing in yourself, you cannot be able to stand in a position where the success that you wish to see comes into your life and be able to fervently be successful in it. You can always remind Empress. Self-love is very important. You have to make it. You have to have an understanding that you're in here and you're doing something and you're doing it for a purpose, right? And next, we're going to go to persistence. And this one is simply stated as persistence under pressure, right? And I've said this before. And what persistence is and what perseverance is when you face these challenges, guys, when you're in the face of difficulties, if you're in the face of bills that needs to be paid, you're in the face of looming layoffs, you're in the face of tariffs that may or may not be imposed, and you still have a family to care for. When you're in the face of that, you can't stop. You can't freeze. You can't hope, oh my goodness, I hope that this doesn't hurt my family. You have got to understand that what you do today it invests in your tomorrow, so that when the circumstances change next month, next week, next year, 4 years from now, as those circumstances change, you've grown your knowledge, you understand your brand, you know who you are, and you've invested in yourself and in your life in a way where you're no longer swayed by the political winds, by whether or not people should be allowed to use certain bathrooms, distraction. Whether or not people who play games should get paid, distraction. Whether or not Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James, distractions. Whether or not Ronaldo is better than Messi, distractions. All distractions, distractions, distractions. And all of them, you spend hours having conversations. You spend days having arguments. You spend weeks worrying, and you are not focused on yourself, your purpose, and doing the work to grow yourself into the person you need to be, to where these distractions are no longer relevant to you. To the point of being the person where you understand that the life that I want to live is in front of me, and I have the ability to get there. As long as other people can control your happiness, they can control what you look at, they can control how you think about what you see, then they can control you. Shadow, what's going on, Sniper? How are you doing today? Himself, I think where it overtakes your view of the world. I was just thinking about that the other day. I don't feel I was ready in that moment. Okay. You make it, you have to. I'm going to go back and read a couple of what Jesus dropped in here. It says, that's so true, bro. Self-love, self-worth, that's how you make it. You have to make it yourself. I was just thinking about that the other day. I didn't feel I was ready in the moment. I think where it overtakes your view of the world. Awesome. Struggle with improper investments in the time and energy. I love to say lay in a bed with my girl all day, or go fishing on weekdays. Trying to balance everything is tough. It can be. It can be, but that's the thing, and this is what I'm trying to say, and this is what I mean about persevering, is the challenges that we come across, the challenges that we run into. There is no such thing as overly persistent. I agree with you there. Another human in your life would say that, likely measuring your being missing. Right. There's nothing wrong. There's no thing as being overly persistent, especially is like Bruce is saying, it's a person saying you're being overly persistent. If you're being overly persistent towards them, if you're being overly persistent towards investing your time in them, they probably don't have the same response. You got to have patience, Unc. I got patience. Moss, thanks for being here, brother. How are you doing? Welcome in. And that's the thing that's going to be important here, right? So we're talking right now about persistence. And when we talk about persistence and we talk about perseverance, we understand. So Mr. P, you just mentioned like what you would like for your life to be. That's a vision, people. So if you have a life vision, your words are how you communicate that vision, and you share that out to the people who you want to be in your life and be a part of that vision. And then once they start to see that vision the way you see that vision, they understand the persistence, and they don't question it, because they understand that the investment of the time that you're making right now turns into time for them to be able to get that attention and time that they're looking for. And we shape that, but we have to be adaptable, right? We have to be able to understand if we're shaping a plan. So the plan that I had for my life as a single man changed when I decided to get married, right? The hours that I need to work, the type of time that I'm going to spend outside of the house, That changed again after I got married, changed again once we had children. So now I have to change. How do I action that? What's important in their lives? What does our future look like? What is my vision for my future now? And that's why we have to persevere, because as those changes come, as leaders of ourselves, we have to be able to adapt. I want to check my notes real quick, guys. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And we covered persistence. And here's the final one, guys. This is the last core. This is the last thing. This is this last trait that I want to share with you. Of the 5 traits, as I said at the beginning of this, the 5 traits that you should have been able to learn from in regards to Donald Trump and what he's been doing for the last 40 years. What phrase is that, Jesus, that you love? As leaders of ourselves, some people forget we are a being, an entity in the space of our lives. We are. We certainly are. You were saying you love your own phrase? Thanks for sharing that. So this is the final thing. And this comes to spirituality and leadership clarity, right? When you come to, yes, we are leaders of ourselves. We have to be leaders in our own life. Aiden, Donald Trump exemplifies grifting and lying. You're looking at the person, you're not looking at the principles. That's why I pinned the chat, Aiden. That's why I pinned it in the chat. This isn't about politics. It's about principles, right? And then when we look at the 5 traits that I'm talking about here, and whether you love the man or hate the man, and I'm not here to speak to one side or the other. I'm here to share with you. The Discipline Dividend has 4 pillars. It has 5 traits. And the Discipline Dividend speaks specifically to who we are. And I'm sharing with you in regards to what we've watched over the last 40 years, the developments of the man along there. Right. You're talking about things, and these are things that for those of you who have been here in the chat for a while, who's been a part of the stream, this is part of what the distraction becomes, is because now we're looking at tariffs. We're looking at market manipulation. We're looking at a whole bunch of things that are outside of our control, and we're no longer focused on our purpose and our goal. I appreciate you sharing, Aiden. I'm glad you're here, and I want to make sure that you have a voice and a place to speak. But it's understanding that what we're talking here is about ourselves. And what Donald Trump can't control is your mindset of yourself. What Donald Trump cannot control is how you represent and present yourself to the world. What Donald Trump or no one else can control is whether or not you have the confidence to stand in your own decisions, to stand in your own beliefs, to take actions for your own life. What Donald Trump cannot do is lead you if you choose to lead yourself. Right? And so when we start talking about the stocks and other things, it's taking us once again away from what's important, is leading ourselves. Right? It's about us. And those distractions can prevent us from building the legacy that we want to build. And like I said, all distractions aren't going to be bad. Some distractions are going to be very entertaining. Movies are going to be entertaining. Sports are going to be entertaining. Politics are going to be entertaining from a distance. They have all types of shows that you can watch on plenty of different networks, all ways to distract you from you have not built the legacy and the life that you want for you. So how do we focus on that? How do we stay focused on that? We have to remove the distractions. I intentionally put the name Donald Trump in there because I understand that Donald Trump is going to elicit a response from people. It's going to elicit an immediate reaction, an immediate need to be a part of the conversation. Thank you so much, Jesus himself. Stocks. Don't be confused, Aiden. Don't be confused. This is what I'm trying to share with you. What I'm trying to share with you is what we're talking about here, what this channel is about for the guys who are here on a regular basis. Rock Z, Bruce, Empress, for the people who are here on a regular basis, they know My focus is always the same, is that we use the principles of discipline, leadership competencies to empower and develop growth and prosperity in all areas of your life, from your finances to your relationships to your legacy. Everything that you're looking to build, you start with those simple principles. And I'm simply relating that over the last 40 years, Donald Trump has in one way or another implemented these principles in discipline to get to where he is. You don't have to like the man. You don't have to hate the man, but you can see over 40 years, he's put his name on everything he's done, good and bad. So even when they failed and people come up and say, ha ha, you failed, Donald Trump, they still had to say his name. When he puts his name on something and he says, this is me and I'm standing by it. And when you come up and you point out his many failures, I never forget. This is an example of what I'm talking about. He went on the David Letterman show and he was talking about his clothes. And one of the first things out of his mouth is like, yep, they're all made in America, American made. And then David Letterman opened one of them and looked in the shirt and it said, made in China. He read the tag, made in China. And Donald Trump response was, yep, they make great things in China. To his face, he called him a liar. And Donald Trump did not bat an eye. It was like, yep, they make great things in China. Everybody should go out and get these shirts and ties. They're available at Macy's. When I'm telling you, it's not about whether or not you do or don't like the man. It's about you understanding that if you want to grow yourself in a way where you can be strong and you can live your purpose and you can design your own future, the first thing you have to do is develop this unshakable belief in yourself and in your mindset. If you do not develop this unshakable belief in yourself, if you do not have a purpose and an understanding of where you're going and what it is that you're looking to do, then you're going to always find yourself challenged. Cost of pig's feet is what matters most to me. Everything in my life hinges on that cost. Right. But also, you also know at the farms stocks, you know that regardless of the cost of pig's feed, you know that if that pig feed changes, that your cost changes on the back end as well. Understand that you run your farm, right? And so because you run your farm, you can't let the politics or the opinions or the views of others change the fact that you have work to do. You have a purpose to fulfill and you have a life to live and you're going to live that. That does not change what you do in that regards, right? And since it doesn't make a change there, you continue to live your purpose. And I want to finish, guys. We're almost done here because I wanted to be finished in 90 minutes. I got about 4 minutes left. The last thing is unapologetic decision making. And this is about your leadership. It means when you make a decision, you have to make a decision on how to move forward. Once you make your decision on who you're going to be and how you're going to be and what you're going to do, stand on it. As I said before, we have jobs that we work on and people don't know. We're worried about the people who are passing us over, and it's because we're not speaking up. We're not using our voice. If people don't understand we have a voice, if people don't even know we exist, how can we expect for them to have an understanding of what we do? Right? How can we expect them to have an understanding that we bring value to the company if we haven't done anything to help build? It's important for all of these aspects. These are 5 things. The Trump tariffs should have woken you up and you should have stopped looking at them because they've changed too much. We are April the 11th. We are 3 months into the year, not even 3.5 months into the year, and the tariffs have gone on and gone off. The tariffs have changed. They've gone up, they've gone down, and everybody is going tariff, 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 tariff. How is it destroying my life versus going, who am I? What is my focus? What is my purpose? How am I living my purpose? What is my dedication? What do I stand on that is unshakable? What part of me will I not let be swayed no matter what? What do I know that I'm doing that is the right thing for me to do? When we stand on that, when we know that to be our truth, when we know that to be what's driving us, then we can move forward, people. I get it. Donald Trump may not be something that a lot of people love. Donald Trump may be something that people love immensely. I'm telling you, if we step away from the man, if we step away from what we see in the media with the manipulation, if we step away from that and we look at what he's done over the last 40 years, and this unshakable brand presence, this unwavering emotional stability, the ability to continue to show up, the consistency of continuing to grow even in the face of drawbacks, the perseverance to continue to move even when things are challenging, the knowledge to bring on people who can help him to shape things in a way that he wants to shape those things. All of those things he's done over 40 years. You have that same ability. But the first thing you have to do is you have to understand your purpose. You have to make up your mindset, and you have to start to journey towards that end. Guys, if you haven't taken the opportunity to drop a thumbs up, please drop a thumbs up. Let me know that you like what we're doing here. Take a look at the channel. Head over, look at the content, see what's available there. See if it speaks to you. If it does, please take a moment to subscribe. Hit the notification. It was great having you here today. I hope you guys have been able to, guys and girls have been able, ladies and men, I apologize for being 52, but I hope everyone who joined in today had an opportunity to hear, learn, and grow from what I was able to share. I appreciate having you here now, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. God bless you. You guys have a great remainder of your day and a truly blessed weekend, guys. Take care.